Welcome back to the Beyond the Arc podcast. And as you can see, I am not wearing a Manchester United shirt because
I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that.
Sully had a stinker. That shows how long it's been since we've recorded one of these, man. It has been a while, but we are back. We haven't been here the last 2 weeks. This is our first video for the second half of the season. It's crazy when you think of it like that. You know, this season it's going quickly, man. And
That's crazy.
you know, we're heading down the final stretch of the season. Teams, they've got to start winning games now if they want to be in the playoffs. I'm looking at you, the Lakers. But before we get into talking about all of that, let's just make a cheeky announcement official on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts platform. We are on TikTok.
Woo! Yeah.
No videos on that yet, but no.
No, it's coming. It's coming.
It's fine. You know, it's fine. Give us a follow.
Oh, good.
Give us a follow at bta.podcast. Just share it out, just like you should be doing on this.
Every
video.
time you should be, but
On this
now we
video.
got more incentive.
Yeah, exactly.
Share more.
Yeah, share more. Follow us on Instagram and as well, just to get notified on what's going on with all the videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you are sharing it out, like I said. Like the video, and comment what you want to see from us a little bit more in the future. But I think it's time to start talking about the All-Star game. It happened a while ago.
It did.
Can you even remember what happened?
Yeah, I remember it very clearly. To be honest.
To be fair, I think I might let you lead this one a little bit. You did watch it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I didn't. I was going to, and then sleep caught me.
Fair enough. So it was just like, obviously the first 3 quarters they were just having fun until they got to the competitive bit. But damn, it was so sick. Steph, oh my god, he just lit up like something crazy. The guy was going off. LeBron was going off. Ja was going off. Like Giannis, everyone was just going crazy. It was just so sick. And then when it got to the fourth quarter and they had to reach like the points, everyone was like double, triple teaming Steph because like he was just making shots from everywhere. And then LeBron called game. You saw that. I know you saw that. That was cool, but it was just an all around really entertaining game. Like it lived up to like my expectations, considering the last one was kind of dry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Steph always shows up a little bit in the All-Star game, doesn't he? But I feel like this year, is he being overhated, or is he genuinely not performing that well? Do you think? And do you think that this might be a way to be like, I took this personally. I'm still a goated point guard.
I mean, I don't think he's getting overhated because, like, everyone this season, they're having good games, bad games. The guy is having some bad games, but so is everyone. But I think it was more because, like, no one in Cleveland was rating him. Like, none of the fans that were rating him at all. So I think that in that moment, he was like, oh, okay. But
and yeah, obviously.
Sorry.
No, carry on, man.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to like remind everyone, like he said, like, oh yeah, I'm still the guy. Because obviously, like you said, it's the final stretch now. He's gonna like pull up. And I think that was just a reminder, not to fans, but to like the other players, the rest of the league. Yeah, we're coming.
Fair. Well, and then talk to me, about LeBron James. You said, he did make that shot. It was in the news a little bit just afterwards, saying that he wanted to go back to Cleveland to potentially end his career there. He then also said that he wanted to go wherever Bronny plays, wherever he got drafted.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which is crazy.
He said he'd take league minimum as well. That's
Imagine LeBron James finishing his career in Orlando after everything.
Imagine
after all the trash he's talked about Orlando in the past.
I mean, it's crazy to think like whoever, because now Bronny's definitely gonna be like first round pick. Like, because whoever drafts him like is getting LeBron, because LeBron is going wherever like Bronny goes, literally, and that could potentially make like imagine Bronny gets drafted to the Warriors or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, then we've got LeBron and Clay and Steph and Bronny on one team. Like, and
The end game.
LeBron, I don't know how old he's going to be then. I think Bronny's getting drafted. I don't know if it's this year and the year after or something. But either way, that's going to be crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, when I saw that, I was like, there was just so many things I was seeing. Like, I didn't know what to think, but that itself is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you can clearly see that he's not really that bothered about winning a chip anymore, which he's which I feel a bit sorry for him, given that that's definitely integrated him into him, given how the Lakers are doing at the moment,
Yeah,
because
it is
they're not winning a chip anytime soon, are they?
literally, and I think that fifth one would have been big for him, especially in terms of the GOAT conversation, because obviously
Yeah,
in the
that
previous
definitely.
week or so, he surpassed Kareem for
He did.
points in
Yeah.
all round seasons, so like playoffs as well. That was crazy. And I think it's only a matter of time before he surpasses him in the league to actually be number one scorer. But I think if he does that and the fifth chip, I think then the GOAT conversation is
Well, I mean,
kind of
I've always said I'm not sure if it's because I've grown up watching LeBron. Obviously, I didn't watch MJ. I feel like everything stats wise, other than the fact that he's undefeated in the finals, 6-0, it's LeBron. He's probably. I think I see a lot of things that says MJ is the best scorer, but LeBron James is
mm,
like a more all around better player,
yeah.
and I think I agree with that a little bit more.
The thing is with the GOAT conversation, like we aren't as experienced, like we've not seen everything,
Yeah.
unfortunately for us. So like us saying LeBron, I mean, it makes sense to me and you because we've seen LeBron. I've been watching him a long time, so have you. The only thing I've seen of MJ is like clips or highlights or the Last Dance documentary and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that it's them two, but I think if he gets that fifth and then surpasses Kareem, I think it's kind of done, to be honest. Like, I
Right.
think it's at that point, you can't even argue. But the fact that he's kind of given up on that fifth one, it's sad to see, really.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like he's definitely in the Washington era of Michael Jordan's career.
Mm,
He's winding down a little bit. I mean, he's still very good, as we
that's
will
what I
talk as we
mean.
will talk about in the game that he played
Yeah,
against the Warriors earlier. He's still very good, but I mean, I just don't think
he's not looking for it anymore.
no, because let's be honest, if he wanted to, he'd have probably tried harder to trade away someone like Russell Westbrook at the deadline, or someone a
I
little bit
mean,
better.
who knows? I mean, if AD stayed healthy the whole year, I feel like they would still have had a chance. But obviously, with the guys on and off being injured here and there and stuff, I think that obviously because AD was like, his D Wade in terms of like the way D Wade was for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
That's what LeBron was like with AD, and it worked, and they did it in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they would have had a chance had the injuries not have happened. And who knows if he does end up leaving this summer or goes back to Cleveland or wherever. Who knows?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
like anything can happen really. Like
It's
he
crazy,
could
isn't it?
win. It really is. He could win a chip in his last season because he is that good. Like I guess it just depends on where he ends up really, or what the shape of the Lakers look next year if he decides to stay.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong because you say, yeah, he is that good. I don't think the Lakers are going to. I don't think if he wants to win the chip, it's not going to happen at LA. Like even even if you get rid of Westbrook and bring in someone else and AD, I don't think I don't think you can bring in someone that's going to win you a chip against the
True.
likes of the Bucks and the Warriors and maybe even the Suns.
Just a lot of
Um,
big teams. A lot
I
of
just
big
feel like
teams.
yeah, there is a lot of big teams, and I feel like I don't want to say it. AD's a very good player, but what I've seen from him this year and last year, I think the injuries, man. I don't think
Mm,
many teams are gonna want to take that risk on him anymore. If I'm honest with you,
100%.
and you feel
And
you feel you feel really bad for him because
mm,
it's not his fault he's made out of glass.
100%. It's not his fault. That was unnecessary, bro. No, but seriously, like it is true because on his day, he's an amazing player, unplayable. But unfortunately for him, like he can get injured like that, and it has kind of downplayed the effectiveness that he has because now, like if he's healthy, he won't be putting up the amount of minutes he was putting when he first started at LA or when he was at New Orleans in his peak because it's a liability. They don't want to lose him again. They're not trying to fight to like get out of the bottom three or something. They're trying to get the play in or the playoffs, and they can't do that if they're playing AD for 40 something minutes a game because all it takes is for him to have a bad landing like we saw not that long ago, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. So to round this off, obviously AD, it's come out said AD is going to be out for a little bit longer than first predicted.
Mm.
I know. I feel like I'm asking this question every single week. We should probably have like a jingle for it or something like a song. Uh, will the will the Lakers make the playing? Because at the moment they've won once coming out of the All Star break. They've got a tough, they do have a tough remaining schedule. It's not a lie saying that it's going to be easy for him.
Mm.
It is a lie saying it's going to be easy for him. My words from me today. Double negatives can't do them. But they're 3 games back off of Portland at the moment. Um, I'm still under the impression that Portland are going to lose more games than the Lakers will. I don't think the Lakers are going to go from now to the end of the season with a positive record. I just think Portland are going to be worse.
I agree with Portland being worse because I mean they've not really been that team to show up this year. However, I will say, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough one because I don't know if you saw. I think it was just last night or the night before. Russell Westbrook was not, happy
Yeah, that's true.
about
Yeah.
the disrespect he was getting, and that might mean he might turn like how the Westbrook timeline goes. It might be that time again. Villain origins is happening. Who knows?
Yeah, because like if we touch on that, yeah,
Hmm.
I forgot all about that. I should probably mentioned it. Do we think that the disrespect is justified?
Nah, man. I mean, yeah, he's not a great player, but at the moment. But the thing is, the guy, everyone knows how he is. Everyone knows that he can go on and off whenever he wants, and like the game against the Warriors, he was quite good.
Yeah, definitely.
So it shows that if technically speaking, when LeBron's playing really good, he might also decide to play good.
Fair.
I think he's overly hated by a
Yeah,
mile,
I get that. I
and
mean,
it's mm,
this season he's played poorly
yeah,
throughout, pretty much, bar like a decent stretch in like January, and you feel, it's kind of like a toxic culture that engulfs all of sports fans, really. You know, okay, criticize players when they're not doing well, but all this constant bagging on a player, it's just not good enough. It doesn't
it's
really
not.
help anyone. LA do better.
Mm, it's true, and I do feel sorry for the guy because at the end of the day, he's just trying to do his thing, man. Like if he's not performing, he's not performing. He will eventually turn up.
Yeah,
It's Westbrook. He's the triple double god. Like, come on, what the guy did last year as well. People are forgetting that he literally broke the triple double record,
yeah,
and he's not old. So like, it's just crazy.
yeah,
But people forget these things, especially like a lot of sports fans now. They forget a lot of greatness that one person can do just by like a bad stretch,
yeah,
which it does make you feel sorry for him.
yeah. Fair.
But hopefully he bounces back, and then maybe LA can turn something around while they've still got that last opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And them moving on now.
Mm.
They're not the only team at the moment that are in a bad run of form, I would know, because I'm going to talk a little bit about the Bulls at the moment and about how they haven't won since coming off the back of the All-Star break. They had a tough schedule. Coming out of the All-Star break, they had, I want to say, the second toughest schedule in the NBA, either second or first.
Mm.
It's obviously tough for them at the moment. Missing Lonzo, missing Caruso, good defensive players. But
Yeah.
the fact is, and this is a harrowing stat for Bulls fans around the world, and the fact is that they are 0-14 against teams in the top three of each conference. It's
That's
worrying.
not a good start. I'm not gonna lie.
It's worrying, and
It is.
I think a lot of people are finally realizing that the Bulls are kind of, this is their level. They're going to beat the teams below them, but when it comes to playing against the teams at the top, it's going to be quite hard for them because they just don't have the depth that other teams have. Obviously, losing Williams, Caruso, Ball for a long period of time, they're three key defensive players. They also really
Yeah.
haven't had a rotational big. They've tried to patch that up with Tristan Thompson, but I feel like at the moment that's kind of like covering up a leakage with a plaster.
Yeah.
It
With
don't really do
yeah,
much.
literally, I was just gonna say with a plaster or a sellotape or something.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much, and I feel because I still have hope. This is the first time that the Bulls have done well in like 5 years.
Since Derrick Rose.
Uh, we had that season with like D Wade and Ronda and Butler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
since the Jimmy Butler era, we haven't really done much, and I just feel that maybe in these games, I feel we still have a game against Miami, 2 games against Milwaukee, and a game against Phoenix. I feel games against Miami and games against Milwaukee, I feel like we still have a chance. I still
The
feel, I
thing
mean,
is,
Miami are top of the conference, but I still don't see, I don't rate them. I don't feel like they have,
literally, I don't rate them either. Like,
they don't have that it factor that a team like Milwaukee or, well, I mean, Brooklyn obviously aren't really doing that well at the moment.
mm,
Philly, they just have a lot of very good players. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's one of the most underrated players in the league. He don't put up massive stats,
yeah,
but his leadership on the court's valued. Tyler Hero's having a great season. Bam's a great center.
yeah.
I don't rate them as title challengers. I feel
Honestly,
like they'll always be a dark
mm,
horse for me. I didn't rate them in 2020 when they got to the
yeah. When
finals.
when they got to the finals, I mean, I completely agree. I do not think they're that good. Like, I don't know how they've like wiggled their way to the top, and I think they're doing like a Utah Jazz kind of thing. Like, I think they're just gonna get smoked in the playoffs by whoever they come up against. Like, I see like, I don't know, just so many. In fact, I see majority of those teams in the playoffs like beating them in a 7 game run. Like, if they somehow, I don't even know, get to the finals, I will be more than shocked.
Yeah,
That would be crazy. I don't rate them. They have a good team. They have a very good team, good players. But I don't know. Just as a team, it just doesn't. They don't, like you said, they don't have the it factor. They just don't have it. Like, Kyle Lowry has not been all that as well since he's been at Miami. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's been okay. He's been decent. Has some good games. But I don't know. It's not when I saw Kyle Lowry move to Miami. I thought it was gonna be like the Kyle Lowry that won the chip in Toronto, kind of Kyle Lowry, and he's not been that guy. And I don't know. I mean, with that conference especially, like, it's it's kind of here and there. Like you said, Philly easily beating them. Like, Bucks, more than easily, and I think Chicago would give them a run. I'm not even gonna lie.
yeah. But you look at who they've beaten recently. They lost by 1 against Milwaukee. Did you see the end of that game? By the way, they were like up by 4 with about like 2 possessions left.
I did,
And
yeah, I
then
did
yeah,
on Instagram. I
Chris Mill
did.
had a great game. Yeah, and they only lost. Obviously, they lost a buzzer beater there. They beat Philly. Philly didn't have Harden, but it's still Embiid's a tough matchup.
Philly, Philly with Harden though.
Yeah. We'll talk
They
about
never, they never win in that game.
that. And I just feel like defensively, is probably where it's at. They don't score a lot of points, but defensively is probably where they win games. You know, they
Yeah.
have kind of dominated us at the Bulls for a little bit. So the Sixers. I feel like if we just if we get the Sixers in the playoffs at any point, which way the white flag we go on, early holiday to Cancun. Just get it out of the way, get working for next season. Because Philly are too good, and we don't have a good defensive center. Like Embiid owns us, and it's not funny. Milwaukee, weirdly enough, despite having Giannis in both the games that we've played against them, we've been leading in heading into the fourth both times. We've blown fourth quarter leads against them twice. So I
But
feel
that's just like a Chicago thing.
Milwaukee's kind of an interesting matchup. I think if our team is healthy going into the playoffs, we could give them a run for the money. Obviously, it just anything can happen. With a team like this, DeRozan doesn't have the best playoff reputation, and I feel like we've seen this season when DeMar DeRozan has a chip on his shoulder, he brushes that off pretty easily.
Yeah.
He goes out there and proves a point. So I think
Mhm.
with a point to prove, maybe he he could lead us. But I feel like I think I predicted them fourth at the start of the season, fourth or third
So
or something like that.
I think we both predicted him like
Yeah,
somewhere around that.
yeah. So I mean, I wasn't predicting them to finish first and walk the conference or anything like that. Obviously, we were doing that at a point. We're at a bit of a poor run at the moment. We do have Detroit tonight though, so hopefully we can get back on track.
It's like the comeback game.
But yeah, I mean, let's just hope that we haven't lost by the time this goes out.
Imagine.
Yeah, I think we can still attempt to get a deep run. I do think we'll be a second round exit.
You think?
Yeah, but
I just think at this point, like I think playoffs is a certain.
yeah,
I just think
getting
it's
getting the playoffs, in my opinion, is good, given that
yeah,
we've been out of it for so long. And getting a
yeah,
high seed is good, given that the last time we were in the playoffs, it was the 8th
true,
seed. So
true. I think it just depends on the attitude of the team and like how they're feeling going into the playoffs. Because let's say they have like a nice ending to the season, they're gonna be more up for the playoffs because like they in their mind they're gonna just feel better, especially like DeRozan, obviously because he's the guy you want to be the most ready and the most up for it. And if they're not, then like you said, it could be a first, second round exit. I personally think they might do well in the playoffs, semis, maybe even conference final. But I think semis at the least. But who knows? I mean, that's the playoffs. It's anyone's game at that point.
yeah, definitely. And again, they're not the only team that are doing quite badly coming off the back of the All-Star break. We're going to shift back over to the West and talk about Golden State. Again, Golden State only won their first game of the second half of the season last night against the Clippers. Pretty resounding victory, and they obviously had Steph, Clay, and that back. But 5-game losing streak, that's not something you're used to seeing from a Steph-led
Not at all.
Warriors team this season.
Not at all. And I think it's maybe, to be honest, I can't put my finger on what it is, but I do know both Steph and Clay, like they came out recently, and Clay was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing good, like I'm turning up because playoffs are coming soon, and we're here." Steph the same as well. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not happy with the games the way we've been playing. We're gonna switch it up." And then they went and won a game. They didn't. Both of them actually. I saw they didn't have the best of shooting nights, but they still won the game. So I guess that's what really matters.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, it just all depends on how these teams are playing towards the back end of the season, touching the playoffs. Because yeah, they're not having a bad run now. Obviously, they've ended it, but who knows? Because now they might go in a good stretch and then end it off with a bad or other way around. I guess it just has to depend. Also, I've seen James Wiseman is going to be playing in the G League. I think very soon.
Yeah,
So
I've
if
also seen
he's
that.
ready for playoffs. You never know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate the fact that they just do have a third pick of the first round, just stashed
Literally.
pretty much, and they still have amazing depth. I'm gonna come out with a bit of a hot take at the moment. Get ready for this. You know how in the same way that I've always said that I feel the Bulls can give any team a good game except
Yeah.
the Philly 76ers.
Yeah.
I think in the playoffs, the Warriors, they'll easily dispatch everyone except maybe Phoenix. They might have a little bit of a tough time against them, but I think they'll come up against and they'll win. Words. But I think if they run in to the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, I actually think that the Mavs are gonna overcome it. Just them last two games in that stretch where Luka, I think he got 40 pieces in both of them.
Mm.
I just think, Luka's just he's such a special player. I love a bit of Luka myself.
He is.
And I feel he's good enough to carry that team past the good teams. I feel, Dallas, they're a bit of a topsy-turvy team. You never know what you're going to get from them. But I think 7-game season series, Golden State against Dallas, I think Luka's got what it takes to carry his team through that.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I don't know. I mean, because if Mavs come as strong as they come and Golden State come as strong as they come, I mean, I'm taking the Warriors all day. But you're right. Like Luka, he's done it. He's done it for a minute now. He's basically on his own, been beating these good teams, and he's not going to stop. But I don't think that he alone can do it in that 7-game stretch, especially against the Warriors. But with the way he performs against these big teams, especially the Warriors as of late, he could give them a good matchup, maybe even take them to 7. But I don't think he can beat them on his own.
Fair. Well,
And he
I
basically
did
is on
say it
his
was a
own.
hot take. I
It
did
is,
say it was a
yeah,
hot take.
but it wasn't a poor take. I'll give you that. It was decent.
I mean, Luka's just an inspirational player. I feel like
He is.
I don't know. I was about to say that he's getting overlooked. He's already in that situation where he's too good for an MVP, but I don't think he is. But I do think he's getting overlooked from it this year. Personally, yeah,
100%.
he had a bad start, but I feel like he's kind of getting back into his groove a little bit, and I feel at
Yeah.
the moment he has.
I mean, he's next gen Dirk, isn't he? Like, it's and like the comparison is quite crazy as well. And obviously, if he does end up being literally like the next Dirk, then Mavs will hold on to him and he'll be a special player. Like he already is, but he'll just grow more and more. And I mean, even if like obviously the Warriors or whoever find them in the playoffs, even though it is just really him at the Mavs, I'd still be scared because they only need him.
Yeah, we've seen that.
We've seen it.
Yeah, definitely. And then final thing I want to talk about before we go into the prediction side is Philly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scary hours is all.
Very scary. Very scary.
Free throw hours is also another thing I want to put out there. I mean, we like I said it multiple times before. You put James Harden, you put Joel Embiid on the same team, you're gonna get a duo that averages about 40 free throws a game.
It's peak.
You can't guard them. It's actually
You actually
crazy.
can't. You really can't. And what I like the most is when this trade happened, and me and you was like, yeah, we kind of knew it was gonna happen, but none. I don't think either of us knew how good these two were gonna be as a pair. I think James Harden,
especially as soon after it.
yeah, it was literally straight away. I think Harden got a triple double on his Philly debut. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure.
You were I think he hit 9 and 9 and
Oh, okay.
In fact, no,
But
I don't know. He might have.
it was either his first or second game, but I know he definitely hit one early. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, Philly is scary. Because, I mean, at the start of the season.
Oh, no, you're not. No. Karen, I'm messing.
Nah, it's cool. But at the start of the season, like, I mean, I would have put Philly in the conversation for the title. I know you said that they could, but now, I mean, I see them washing Brooklyn
Oh,
like all day.
Brooklyn are dead and buried at the moment, man. They're in Laker territory in the fact that they're teetering off of getting kicked down into the depths of hell outside of the playing spot. I don't think it's going to happen. They've
But like,
definitely got enough about them with
and
KD and
they could
Kyrie in the
even.
late games.
Do you think they could like beat the Bucks? Because I think they might.
Yeah,
I
I,
think they
I
can.
think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, put Embiid anywhere other than against Giannis on defense, and yeah, probably.
But
It's just
Giannis would be the only one to guard him though, really.
yeah, I guess, but it's the fact that they've now got a second star, so Embiid isn't. I mean, I never said he. I'm not saying he didn't have help before, but now he's got better help.
Like now his help is like really helping.
Yeah,
But I mean, you're absolutely right, and I think now it's like a breath of fresh air for him because I mean, no disrespect to Seth at all, but from having Seth Curry and Ben Simmons kind of to James Harden, it's like selling your Fiat and buying a Ferrari kind of thing, you know? Like
fair enough. I mean,
it
I'm not a car guy, but I know that that's a good
you
thing.
know it's a bad deal. Like on the Brooklyn side anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean at least Brooklyn have a little bit of depth now. But again, they're like you said, they're kind of dead and buried. Like it's peak for them.
They kind of now just have KD. You know,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
haven't without Kyrie, Ben Simmons might not even play again for the rest of the season.
yeah,
You know, obviously when you don't play for this long, it kind of has an adverse effect on you.
100%. I mean, Kyrie did drop a 50 piece last night or the night before, but
No, he did.
this is what I'm like. But they don't have him all the time, so it's kind of irrelevant. No disrespect to Kyrie, I love him, amazing player, but it's kind of irrelevant him dropping a 50 piece because it's not like he's gonna do it week in week out because he's not there every week, every game.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at their remaining games. They've only got 7 more away games. Obviously, they don't really
Lit-
have many games left. You know,
Yeah,
they've got 16 left. So, you know, they've got more away. They've got more home games than they do away games at the moment. And I never thought I'd say this, but you know, you're not wanting home court advantage when you're
not when you're Brooklyn right now.
at the
And
moment.
let's say they make playoffs. What if they get home court advantage? That's peak for them.
Oh, they're
That's
not
only
good. They're
two.
finishing. They're finishing in the bottom. They're not finishing top four. Like, don't even come up with this. They're not finishing top four.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
What
But
I'm saying though, at the moment, it's looking that they're gonna be facing Miami, Philly, or Milwaukee in the first round. Who'd have predicted that at the start of the season?
nobody. But the thing is, all of them are beating them in five.
But it's the fact that it's still a big matchup. It's still an
Yeah.
interesting matchup.
In the
You know,
first round. It's crazy.
yeah, I would say it's not one of those where it's kind of like you're just knocking out some of the dead teams,
Yeah.
like a first versus eighth usually is, or a second versus seventh usually is.
Mm.
It's kind of like like last year when Phoenix ended up having the Lakers in the first round. You
Yeah.
know,
Hundred percent.
the Lakers being that bottom team in the first round kind of just made it a little bit more exciting because you kind of give them a chance. You know, even when they just have KD, you never ruling them
Hundred
out
percent. 100%.
because it's
And we
KD.
saw it. We literally saw it last year.
Yeah.
And I think imagine because the thing is obviously, then it depends on who turns up. Because let's just say Philly and Harden and Embiid don't turn up in the first round against Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn beat them in a 6 game or 7 game series, then
That'd be that'd be equal parts hilarious as it is.
very confusing.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean, imagine Ben Simmons. You know, we thought he'd never play again this season. He comes back for the game seven against Philly in
and
the
he gets
first
the
round.
beater or some buzzer beater,
It's
3 point.
they're down two. Everyone's like, no point marking Ben Simmons. He's dead at
He's in the
threes.
corner. He just stood in the corner.
they end up giving him the ball and he hits the three. Scenes.
Imagine, literally limbs, like Brooklyn, and that would be like this is what I mean. Like that's the thing with the playoffs, especially like a big first round game like that. Everyone's gonna be watching because
Yeah.
not that many people watch the first round, second round because they're kind of like dead. But then it's the semis and the finals that everyone's tuning in. But that would be the first time everyone's got their eyes on the first round because it could go here or there. Like
It's
more
just
than
an interesting
likely,
dynamic. Yeah.
literally it's a big switch up, and if that happens or something along the lines of Brooklyn beat a big team, then everyone's heads are going to turn and be like, whoa,
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
playoff KD is back, and everyone's just not going to be prepared, and who knows, literally.
It also gives the playing when it actually happens that little bit, no, that little bit of extra intrigue.
Mm,
No one LeBron always keeps saying is like bun the playing dead. It's
dead.
no one wants to see the playing. It'd be quite ironic because at the moment the only way is getting into the playoffs is through the
And
playing.
he was in the plane last season as well.
Yeah, but he finished top 8. So anyway, and then but last year having it being Golden State and the Lakers made it that a little bit more interesting. This
That
year,
was an amazing game as well.
this year having the Nets in there is going to make it even more interesting,
Mm.
especially if they finish 7th and have home court advantage in both of their games that they're going to play. So Kyrie won't be playing.
Imagine, imagine Brooklyn getting knocked out in the play-in like that. That would be one thing because we're gonna look back at these predictions, and I remember a few of them. That's gonna be one where we're like, bro,
Imagine
wh-
we got it all wrong.
I know we got quite a few things majorly wrong,
Yeah,
but
but
obviously, who knew that like
yeah,
Ben Simmons and Jim Harden at that time anyway?
but obviously we'll save that for another day. Um,
Mm.
but we will not move away from predictions because a few things that have
Oh,
been
it's time
going
to end
on.
the episode, guys. It's been a good one. It's been amazing.
Sully, talk to me, man. What's going on recently, man? I mean, technically, I feel like
As we flipped a coin in
I,
the last one.
and you won LeBron. I just feel like I got a little bit of luck because you were like Lamelo, and then all of a sudden that meant that you were
Listen,
like KD's gonna win.
Melo, Melo was balling,
Yeah, he had a
and
good game.
it was close as well. I can't lie. There
Yeah,
was because I thought Team LeBron was going to smoke them, and it was actually very close. I think
yeah.
they both won. They both. I think the All Star games are kind of rigged. Now with this new thing because they both won, uh, like a quarter, and then the third quarter was tied. I don't know. That seemed a little bit fishy to me, but I mean, at that point, I was like, yo, maybe this could actually happen because I was quite confused. I was like, ain't no way. But Steph was on Team LeBron, so I was kind of hoping they'd win anyway because, like, Steph. But yeah, that was peak, man.
Also, may I say this? I predicted that Andrew Wiggins was going to get the least amount of time on Team Durant. He got the fourth least amount of time on Team Durant. The 4 players off the bench got more time on the court than Andrew Wiggins did. So I'm a genius. What can I say?
He wasn't even that bad as well. I mean, there wasn't passing him the ball much. When he got the ball, he was
Who's
okay.
who's passing Andrew Wiggins the ball when you've got Embiid, Tatum, Trey, and Morant on your team? No one's passing Wiggins the ball, man. Don't kid yourself.
Free him, man. Listen, he was a starter. He deserves the ball. Like, they need to start, giving him disrespect that I mean, obviously deserves, but, like, oh, man.
But yeah,
It was-
anyway, like you said, Lamelo did have a good game. Third highest scorer on his team. Just one that's never going to win you the MVP.
100%. 100%.
100%.
I
And
thought,
obviously
I mean,
LeBron won.
considering the guy like plays like his 2K, I thought he was just gonna get a lot more time than he actually did because, like, when he was on the court, he was really flashy. He was pulling off all the stunts. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then they just like was like, nah, you're not getting no game time. I was like, whoa, whoa, why are they doing my boy like that? And there was times I was just watching. I was like, pass him the ball, put him on the court, and they just didn't. And I was mad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, even when but he still put up decent numbers compared to who I chose to be Finals MVP, All Star Game MVP. DeRozan didn't really do much, unfortunately, which is sad. Is sad to see, but he was on the winning team, which means that I took the dub because none of us predicted the All Star Game MVP correctly, and I predicted
The right team.
didn't really even predict because I ended up with Team Durant. You just switched.
We just switched. I kind of put myself in the mud there.
I mean, you know
because
what? But we take these wins.
they come to you.
I was about to say they're a bit rare for me, but now I'm winning 5-4
You're on
in
a
the
hot
season.
streak. You're on a hot streak right now. I'm telling you, you're on like 3.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we move on to this week's predictions. It feels like it's been a while since we predicted like NBA games because obviously
It feels like it's been a long time.
it's been like 3 weeks since we did one of these, and it was for the All Star game. Then we obviously had it had been like the week before. So I mean, we're just gonna hop straight into. We got 6 games, and the first game is a bit of an interesting one because it was something that I wanted to talk about in the actual thing, but I thought, it'll provide a bit of variety to the predictions because usually it's always like Bucks, Warriors, Lakers, all these big teams. The first game is the Raptors at the Spurs. And I know what you guys are thinking. You guys, well, if you don't follow basketball that much, or if you're a bit casual like me and Sully are usually, then you
Before
probably
the podcast, now we had to switch up.
I'd still say I haven't even improved that much.
Nah,
but,
he's lying.
but,
He's lying.
But if you guys don't know, Greg Popovich, GOAT coach, equaled the number of regular season wins as a coach last time out with the last time he won, which I think was the last game. I think it's tomorrow. The Spurs host the Raptors, and if the Spurs win, Greg Popovich has become the winningest coach in NBA history, which is big. He's been doing it for a very long time, and I think this is probably his. I feel like once he's done this, I feel like he can probably retire a happy man, and I personally think it's going to happen against the Raptors.
I mean, I believe that as well. I saw the Raptors get clapped by Cleveland, so they're probably on that losing streak anyway. They're not that good at the moment, and I think at the Spurs, it's just likely to happen. As it would be crazy as well if he broke the record the same week Coach K retired. I think that would be kind of mad.
Yeah, definitely.
And who knows? I hope so. To be honest, I think the guy's the GOAT, man. Like, he's provided me and you as well with some early good NBA memories from early. So I would love to see that happen. Next game, I would love to see that.
Yeah, so I'm predicting All-Star DeJounte Murray to be that MVP.
Let me see, actually, because I'll be forgetting.
I feel like if you're predicting the Spurs to win, it kind of like is usually going to be Murray to win.
More than likely, yeah, that's the thing.
He's the triple double. He's a young Russell Westbrook.
He is literally like Westbrook Jr. You know what? We'll be on the same side. So we either both get a point or we don't get a point. We'll do it for pop, man. For pop.
Fair enough. And then we're gonna move on to there's a lot of big games this week. Personally, next up we're holding nothing back. Bucks at Warriors. This is big.
Major, especially like if we're talking playoffs final potentially.
Obviously, the Warriors not being in the best run of form, they have kind of picked it up a little bit. The Bucks, you can guarantee that the Bucks are going to show up and beat anyone sometimes.
Literally, like, I just feel like there's so like sometimes you just think how have these guys like lost games because they're genuinely that good. Like, I won't even be surprised if next season like they do something similar to like what the Warriors did not that long ago, where they only had like 9 losses. Like, I won't be surprised. But with that being said, I always back the Warriors. Today would be no different. They might be on a bit of a dry spell, but this will be the game where they just remind everyone. And it will have to be Stephen because of course, it's the GOAT.
I mean, I don't, I don't, I don't usually back the Warriors,
Oh,
but today was different. However, you said Steph, and I
nah,
feel
let
like
it happen, man. Let it happen. Let it happen. This is not the first time. There's never a time this happens.
okay,
Were you,
okay,
were you gonna back Steph though? That's my question.
yes, man,
Because you never ever back. You was
yes,
gonna back.
yes, it has to be Steph. I feel it never happens. I must have woken up on a different side of the bed this morning.
That's crazy. I can't believe that just happened.
I was thinking this is a Steph game. This also
I like your
this
thinking.
also brings a rather boring start to this week's predictions, given that we predicted the exact same thing for the first two.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But it'll change now, I think.
I'm trying to not lose, man. I'm trying to not lose.
So Sully wants to get it back, but it'll change now, I think, because next up is Cavs Bulls. Bulls ain't been doing
You can
that
go
well,
first. You can
and
go first.
I was thinking, regularly, if the Cavs were properly healthy, I'd have said, I think it's going to be a Cavs dub. Now Jarrett Allen is Jarrett Allen is out. I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit of hope for us. I'm also thinking we're not on a great run. The Cavs are a team that we might get in the playoffs if we come fourth, they come fifth. It could potentially happen. There are a team that we could possibly get in the playoffs. I think we're going to probably want to show them up. We also, there's a massive rivalry between us and Cleveland. We want to beat Cleveland. However, I don't see it happening. I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning. I turned on my Insta feed. I scrolled down and I saw that Darius Garland hit a 41 piece last night, and I was like, "Yeah,
I saw that too. I saw that too.
this guy's the real deal already."
He really is.
So I feel, unless Io, we know that Io DeSumo can have a defensive masterclass against some of these guards. Trae Young is his son. Except the last game where Trae dropped a lot of points and beat us, but Io still blocked him, which is good. But I think Darius Garland. I think it's going to be Darius Garland winning it for the Cavs.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
See, I always back the Bulls. Even though you're the Bulls guy, I always back the Bulls. That's why you said it was going to be different, because you knew. I think it's going to be.
For me, it's always a win-win. If I back the Bulls, if I don't back the Bulls, and the Bulls lose, there's potential that I at least get 1 point. There's potential I might get 2.
He's a little bit sad, but then he gets some points, so he's okay.
But if Bulls win, I'm happy anyway.
Exactly, but then obviously I'll be winning, so he's like, oh man. But I'll say Chicago. The thing is, I want to say Zach LaVine, but DeMar DeRozan plays at Chicago too, so I'm gonna say Zach LaVine.
Fair. A battle for New York is next. And again, it's something that I definitely could have talked about, that we definitely could have talked about before the predictions bit, but I don't want to fall out with you about how we both feel about the Knicks at the moment. Saying that though, give credit where credit's due. Julius Randle's had a great week.
I told you about my boy. No one was listening.
He has had a good week. That hasn't stopped the Knicks from still throwing away double digit leads like it's Santa at Christmas time. Handing out the presents.
For real. Like, playing New York right now is a good time to play the Knicks right now.
Which is why I'm back in Brooklyn, even though it is at Brooklyn. They won't have Kyrie, but I'm still backing them. And no Kyrie, I'm definitely not gonna back Andre Drummond, so it's gonna be a KD show for me.
You know what time it is. You already know what time it is.
Big Randall.
I actually think this is going to be an RJ Barrett game. The guy's been on fire. Like, he has been on fire. I do think Julius Randle, he's not going to drop a lot of points, but he's going to drop a triple-double. Watch. You heard it from me. But I think RJ is going to drop like 30 plus.
Fair enough. Penultimate game. Bucks again. Who visit the Jazz. The regular season Kings, who are kind of just average this year. Still, top 5 in the conference.
But normally it's like 1 or 2, so it's quite disappointing.
But again, like I said, I didn't back them before, but the Bucks can just beat anyone.
Yeah.
and Chris Middleton is off on one. You know, he had that game winner against Miami. He took over against Phoenix.
For real.
I don't think he's done cooling down yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a Bucks game where I'm predicting a Bucks win, but not a Giannis masterclass.
That's cool because I'm predicting a Giannis game, so at least we're not on the fully same side there.
Fair. And then finally, the battle of the MVP frontrunners. Yes, no DeMar DeRozan featuring in this one, unfortunately. But it is Jokic versus Embiid. Nuggets versus the Sixers. It's a tough one.
It all depends if James Harden plays, though.
That's fair.
Because if he plays, I think it's no question. But if he doesn't, then it's anyone's game. I think either way, no, even if he plays or not, I think Jokic is outscoring everyone on the court. But I don't know if they're going to win, though.
Well, how about you predict a Philly win, so then me predicting Jokic ain't, I don't have to change anything.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. I will. The thing is, damn.
It is really. I'm gonna say because do you want to back Harden and hope that he plays?
Hope that he plays, because if he does play, he'll probably drop like 35. But if he doesn't,
what I'm thinking is that it's it's a big game. It's not like
the likelihood of him playing is high.
Yeah,
it makes sense, and I don't like he's not injured or anything, not that we know of anyway.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'll say Jamie Harden.
Fair. Well, that brings up for an interesting predictions. I feel like usually when I come out of the predictions, I'm like, I've usually picked, the best player on the team. I feel like I have done it. I've done that for the most part, but I feel like I'm, picking Middleton, predicting that the Nets with just KD is going to win. I feel I've gone a little bit, it's been a bit tough.
So I think we need to start get like stats and now everything. Like we need to start strategizing how we're doing this, because like it's peak for me now. I was winning for the whole time. I'm not winning anymore. This is the first time.
I've overtaken him. We're on the final road.
We've got the first game. Yo, to say that we've had 12 episodes, we've only had 9 predictions. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it feels like a lot because obviously we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in the whole of this season
which I've been
that you've overtaken me.
And obviously, we still have a month and a bit of the regular season left, and then obviously we still have the playoffs, which we'll predict and all that kind of stuff. We still have all of the regular season standings to look at, in the month and a half time. Maybe that will translate to something on the predictions leaderboard. Maybe leave a comment to see how we could do that, and also leave a like if you have got to this point in the video, because we are ending it here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Like I said, leave a like, leave a comment. Go follow our Insta. It's in the description. Go follow our TikTok. It's in the description. I mentioned it at the start. Follow it. You never know, you might get some videos on there if followers happen to follow.
Now we're doing it anyway, so you need to come and see, because we're going to be popping off.
Yeah.
And you want to be the ones to say you was there first.
Fair.
So,
and also leave a comment saying what you might want to see on that TikTok
show some
page.
love.
Yeah, and obviously just keep supporting us. Makes us really want to carry on doing this, and we will guys. We will guys
see you time next.
Peace.